The Quick Case for $60,000 Bitcoin and then $120,000 Bitcoin by me, Steven Zeiner. Okay, what is Bitcoin? Let's take a look at this from two perspectives, both perspectives coming from the same individual. Michael Saylor, very smart man, graduated from MIT, founded MicroStrategy in 1989, has written a phenomenal book called The Mobile Wave, and perhaps most noteworthy of all, has, I believe, allocated something to the tune of $4 billion to Bitcoin. So let's see what Michael has to say about Bitcoin. He says in this tweet dated March 13th, 2023, not that long ago, Bitcoin is a bank that can't lend out, invest, gamble, dilute, debase, freeze, or seize your assets. It works all the time, everywhere in the world, and is unstoppable. So, what is the current market cap of Bitcoin, right? This unstoppable bank in cyberspace. What's it worth? Well, here's the formula we're going to follow. We're going to take the current Bitcoin supply, we're going to multiply it by the current Bitcoin price, and then we're going to derive a Bitcoin market cap. So the current supply of Bitcoin is about 19,400,000 coins, okay? And that's as of around May 25th. This changes all the time, but let's just go with this number for the moment. Bitcoin priced in US dollars as of May 25th was around $26,445. And just as a side note, this will come in more handy and useful later. The Bitcoin network hash rate was around 393. So the Bitcoin market cap is $513 billion. So let's refresh our recollection here, right? Bitcoin is a bank that can't lend out, invest, gamble, dilute, debase, freeze, or seize your assets. It works all the time, everywhere in the world, and is unstoppable. So Bitcoin is arguably the ultimate global bank. Current worth, about $513 billion. By contrast, the so-called too big to fail banks, this is a small subset of that group, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup. Collectively, they've got a market cap of $1.1 trillion. So think about that for a moment. If you believe that Bitcoin is the ultimate bank, it's an unstoppable force. Okay, it's something that can't, right, seize your assets, dilute your assets. It's just this amazing technological creation. Wouldn't it be arguable then that Bitcoin should trade at the very least at around 1.16 trillion, let's say? And guess what? That's exactly what it would trade at if it were back at $60,000 per coin. Remember, Bitcoin has previously traded at $60,000. This is not an aspirational number. It's not some esoteric number. It's not some pie in the sky number. This is where Bitcoin has previously traded. So if we were to get back to $60,000 Bitcoin, we're looking at a market cap for Bitcoin of about $1.16 trillion. Let's compare. Too big to fail banks, about $1.1 trillion market cap. Hey, fair is fair. If Bitcoin is truly the ultimate bank, so be it. It should at the very least trade at a comparable valuation to these so-called too big to fail banks. So let's give it a market cap of 1.16 trillion. That results in Bitcoin priced in US dollars of $60,000 per coin. Again, we've been there before. This isn't that esoteric of a number. What is Bitcoin? Let's look at this from a second perspective. Yet again, coming from Michael Saylor. So Michael describes Bitcoin as follows. This is a tweet from September 8th, 2021. Bitcoin is digital energy. With this technology, we can deliver any amount of power at any frequency, anywhere in time and space with nearly zero friction. It is smarter, faster, and stronger than mechanical energy, chemical energy, or electrical energy. It is the future. I mean, that's very compelling in and of itself. But if we then take a look at the second tweet that appears, right, this is in response to a senator, a U.S. senator. Michael says, Bitcoin mining converts wasted and stranded energy into digital energy, the natural successor to chemical and electrical energy. It can be managed by any computer transfer it anywhere at the speed of light, and lasts forever, thereby improving our climate, economy, and power grid. That is really remarkable. Okay, so keep that in mind. Furthermore, separate tweet, April 27th, 2022, Michael says, if you took a global technology company offering the most desirable product in history and then stripped away the risks that all companies incur due to their operations and obligations, you would have Bitcoin. Okay, let's think about that for a moment. A global technology company offering the most desirable product in history. You know what comes to mind? Apple. The company designs, manufactures, and markets smartphones, personal computers, tablets, wearables, and accessories, and sells a variety of related services. Now, that description of Apple doesn't quite sound as transformative as what we just read a moment ago, right? In terms of the way Michael describes Bitcoin. Nevertheless, this company, Apple, has a market cap of $2.73 trillion. Now, you might be saying, okay, hey, you know what? Apple, hey, that's just an isolated situation. Come on, let's be reasonable. Okay, hey, fair enough. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft, I mean, if you ask a lot of Apple advocates, they'd probably argue that Microsoft hasn't necessarily created anything that's truly desirable or innovative. I'm not sure I agree with that, but hey, that's the argument Apple camp might potentially make. Nevertheless, Microsoft has a market cap of $2.42 trillion. Okay, well, maybe, Apple and Microsoft, they're unique, they're special. Okay, fine. Let's take Amazon and Alphabet, right? Alphabet, of course, being the parent company to Google. Put them together, you get a market cap of $2.75 trillion. What's my point? If Bitcoin were trading at $120,000 a coin, it would still not be as valuable as Apple. It would not be as valuable as Microsoft. And it wouldn't be as valuable as Amazon and Alphabet put together. So if we believe, as Michael describes, right, that Bitcoin is a transformative technology, something that is like a 10x leap above anything that's really been created to date, wouldn't it be arguable that when compared to the big tech group that we have here, right, big tech being Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, and Alphabet, well, look, they've got a collective market cap of $7.9 trillion. Would it be fair? Would it be reasonable to make an argument that Bitcoin should at least trade at maybe 2.33 trillion? Heck, that's nowhere close to 7.9 trillion. And it's less than Apple, it's less than Microsoft, and it's less than Amazon and Alphabet put together. If it were to trade at $120,000 a coin, it would put the market cap at 2.33 trillion. That's very thought-provoking. Now, what does this all mean for Bitcoin miners like, for example, I'm going to pick on Stronghold Digital Mining. I happen to be a co-owner, shareholder of the business, and I do speak out about the company quite a bit. So let's pick on Stronghold. But the truth is, hey, look, if you're clicked up with Marathon, Riot, it really doesn't matter. If what I'm describing is going to be good for Stronghold Digital Mining, trust me, it's going to be phenomenal for companies like Marathon and Riot and everybody else. Let's do a little bit of hardcore number crunching here. Stronghold Digital Mining currently has a hash rate of 3.4. That's going to go up to about 4 by the fourth quarter, if not sooner. And there's a potential for another extra exahash to come online sometime this year, although we're not counting it, but we're just kind of keeping our eye on it. Current Bitcoin network hash rate, let's call it 400. The Stronghold Digital Mining, okay, the average miner efficiency, let's call it 36. Now, Bitcoin priced in US dollars, let's say it's 60,000. We've got a quarterly estimated adjusted EBITDA of over $17 million. Now, for any of y'all who have been following Stronghold Digital Mining, you know that $17.5 million in estimated adjusted EBITDA for one quarter, that's going to be transformative. Take it up to $120,000 per Bitcoin. Let's leave all the other numbers the same. Same SDIG hash rate, same network hash rate, same miner efficiency. Okay, now we're looking at nearly $60 million in quarterly estimated adjusted EBITDA. You know, you put a couple of quarters together, maybe one quarter, the average price of Bitcoin's around 60,000. Maybe the next quarter, the average price of Bitcoin's 120,000. You put together those adjusted estimated EBITDA numbers. I mean, you know, Stronghold's pretty much done with being in debt. Okay, now, like, you might look at this and say, well, gosh, hey, look, if Bitcoin's at 120,000, yeah, there's no way the Bitcoin network hash rate's going to be around 400. Okay, fine. All right, let's blow it up to 600. I mean, what changes? Look, we're still making, right, a quarterly estimated adjusted EBITDA of over $30 million. I mean, that's really, really productive and helpful math, if you know what I'm saying. And as I said, hey, if you're clicked up with Marathon, you're a Riot fan, you're involved with some other Bitcoin mining company, look at a higher Bitcoin price is good news for the entire Bitcoin mining industry. So look at, to the extent Michael is correct about the true nature of Bitcoin, then Bitcoin priced in US dollars right now is currently undervalued. Here's the bottom line. Bitcoin is hope. To discover more about Bitcoin, visit hope.com. Thank you so very much. Hey, and before you leave, drop a comment below letting me know where you think Bitcoin has the potential to trade. In the meantime, let's stay positive, let's be great, and let's go Bitcoin.